Cyclones' huge floods leave hundreds D3ad in southern Africa. Chimanimani, Zimbabwe U8 workers rushed to rescue victims clinging to trees and crammed on rooftops against rapidly rising waters Tuesday after a cyclone unleashed devastating floods in Mozambique, Zimbabwe, and Malawi. More than 200. The rapidly rising floodwaters created an Mozambique's President Filipe Nyusi said the death toll could reach 1,000. Emergency workers called it the region's most destructive flooding in 20 years. Heavy rains were at this. Mozambique's Punguio and Buzi rivers overflowed, creating inland people. The extent of the damage was not yet known as many areas remained impassable. With key roads Cyclone Eve swept across central Mozambique before dropping huge amounts of rain in neighboring Zimbabwe's eastern mountains. That rainfall is its. Satellite images were helping the rescue teams target the most critical areas, Haga said. Rescue operations. The waters flooded a swath of land more than 30 miles wide in central Mozambique, putting more than 100,000 people at risk, said the aid group Save the Children. Torrential rain was still lashing the region on Tuesday, and Buzi town could be entirely submerged within 24 hours, the aid group said. Hardest hit was Beira, where thousands of homes were destroyed. The city and surrounding areas were without power and nearly all communication lines were destroyed. Beira's main hospital, Beira could face a serious. The nearby cities of Dondo and Kimoyo were also badly affected. In Zimbabwe, the death toll rose to 98, the government said. The mountain town of Pwi. Among those fleeing on foot was Lukmore Rusro, who carried a small bag with his remaining possessions. His wife carried the tank. Some escaped with nothing but their lives. Zimbabwean President Emmerson Mnangagwa arrived in the area on Tuesday, saying a number of countries, including the United Arab Emirates, South Africa, Botswana, Namibia, and Angola, were offering aid. The U.S. Embassy in Zimbabwe said the U.S. was also mobilizing. Malawi's government confirmed 56 deaths, 3 missing and 577 injured in the flooding, which caused rivers to burst their banks, leaving many houses submerged and around 11,000 households displaced in the southern district of Nsanye. Neighboring Tanzania's military airlifted some 238 tons of emergency food and medicine to the three countries. Meldrum reported from Johannesburg. Follow Africa News at https://twitter.com/apafrica. Search for location/city.
Raindrop, drop top smoking, no cooking the hot pot. Fucking on your bitch, yeah, that. Looking up, open the park pot.